outside of the popliteal space. Okay? And I'm going to let them crisscross each other. So I start with one, and you want to, so I've torn these little fingers. I want to, number one, go ahead and tear each finger. Because you handle the fingers last. The issue you had with the little crazy thing you did on her hand was you were handling one of them first. And it made it really hard to do, didn't it? So you would always want to handle the anchor first and then work the fingers where you want them to go. And I'm seeing creative stuff going on. A lot of fun happening here. And then I do, she's dead. And so I do my anchor. Do my little stretchy thing. I to myself. But I want to make sure that, I'm coming obliquely across the leg, so I want to make sure when I place my anchor, I permit that. And so I'm going to lay it down, not in the popliteal space. I want to stay out of the soft tissue, but proximal to the popliteal space. And I'm going to rub that in. Then I'm going to stretch to relieve the backing for the portion connected to the anchor. Get hold of it. And I'm going to work that out the way I normally do. I'm not putting any stretch on this. And then the fingers are going to come loose. And I'm going to flip those back so they don't get all twisty and funky. Nobody likes twisty and funky fingers. Maybe not. Sorry, you just started that whole thing. And you're freaking recording it too. Just not social media, okay? Keep that for your own
personal use only.
I don't want to have my dad calling me like, what are you doing? So now we're going to do each finger independently. I like to do the inside ones so that and I'm going to expand them out. So I'm going to take them off center. This way I have sort of a template to expand the other fingers out. And so you do the same kind of deal, holding the anchored portion of the tape, pulling to relieve the tape end so I can get hold of it. And then I give that to myself, and I do this, and I walk it out the same way. I don't stretch it. I'm pulling and touching, pulling and touching, pulling and touching, and I'm working it out across the thigh, obliquely, because we're going to come from the other into the other whoops. A little curve going. So I lost track. Touch that down. Rub that in.
You're good, honey. You're good. I'm zoomed in.
And then the other one, outside of it, I can go ahead, I'm going to do the same thing, pull and release, get hold of the tape, and then I'm going to aim it so I get a little broader with it. And so whatever you do with that backing directs where the tape is going to go. So focus not on this loose piece. And I don't have to hold the tape. I'm just going to walk that backing. Do the same with the other two. Pull and release. Get hold of it. Aim it. Pay attention to where that thing is aimed. So don't worry about the loose end. Don't worry about the end I have control of. Again, I'm trying to make it divergent. And again, be careful getting this off. Use an oil on it or something. Yeah.
So in this instance, you're just more worried about your anchor being aimed
for the drain site.
Yeah.
So the popliteus is a drain site for lymphatic system.
Yeah.
Primary ones are evenal, axillary, and supraclavicular, but we have other secondary drain sites in bendy places that are useful for things like this.
Yeah.
Does it matter how far apart the fingers are?
No.
Not just how.
Yeah,
they
it-
happen to be- okay.
So
Yeah.
like if I were to have like a massive bruise here, I mean, you could drag that out this way.
Or you
Yeah.
could put another one over it.
Yeah.
Well, see, that would be the thing, is I could actually really focus here, maybe on 2 tapes
Yeah.
of this size, and come down and branch out.
Towards this one.
Well, this would be where the head was,
Okay.
but I'd have 2 of these, so my heads would actually be, I might even have them either abutting or side by side, and so then I'm not gonna basket weave it, but I'm just gonna spread it way out.
Okay.
Okay,
Would-
so you
would
can do
not-
that too.
Would not that work better as far as because of the lymph channels going, with the lymphangions filling and going more?
Yeah, it might. It would actually, in fact, I would do that. I just wanted to show a basket weave thing. And basket weaves are seen, as you see in the picture, around an extremity. So, and I would have shown it on the shoulder, so we'd go back side and front side of the axilla
Okay.
and come around over the deltoid area with our basket weave, which is what you see there in your illustrations. So that I would have done that, but she already had tape and I didn't feel like tearing it off.
So she's grateful.
To combine, could you possibly combine one at the inguinal anchor and one down there?
Yeah, you could.
Oh, that,
But I would have come from I would have done this way and that way.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so I've already started this. So thanks a lot. But yes to all those things.
You're just making your life difficult.
I love you guys.
You got a
I love you guys.
mostly girls in here.
Yeah.
That's why.
Dude, help me out, man.
You've been quiet the whole time. Smart man, smart man.
You're on your own.
Each man for himself. Most estrogen around here. You got it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hard. Hard paper. 3 days ago. You're glutton. That's my dear wife. She's
Is this for your class, the taping?
What's that?
Is this what you teach only?
No, I teach the basic lymphatic course. So I did that already and I'm doing it again. So we do Monday
Yeah,
and
they added, it was
Tuesday.
so popular, they added a
Yeah,
second.
so I did it Monday and Tuesday with with a bunch of these guys. And then we're doing another Thursday, Friday.
And your wife does it too?
She does the basic course, she does the advanced course of lymphatic and then she does light massage.
Oh, that's
Oh, that looked interesting too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, and the second one is way cooler. The first one is the basic course. You learn the foundation
Oh.
stuff. Because you might have noticed that's my shtick, you know. And so they learn the foundational
Like
stuff.
my video
Science
is horrible.
and
I'm just like,
But then you learn
but then the things he's saying are so
you get to
valuable.
be creative.
She gets to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, she does the fun stuff.
Oh my
because
gosh.
She does that fun
Yeah.
stuff. She's
Because he was like,
still
it's
practicing.
education,
She's
but like,
practicing
even people who are
degree.
educated still,
You
know.
She does basically lymphocytal and post-surgical stuff. So again, I tore the tails first, so they're loose and available. Then I tore my anchor, and I'm gonna release my anchor, pull, and take it off without getting it all over the place. And then I'm going to place snorting it. I lay down my anchor. Like Sandra Bullock. Release it. Grab hold of it. And sometimes you have to watch this. This wanted to twist on me, so I wanted to make sure I got hold of that. Bringing this up, finishing the attachment of the head of my comet. Flip those guys over. It could be a jellyfish, whatever, squid, whatever, anything that's got tails. Okay, and so I'm gonna, once again, because you can do it any old way you want. You can start out wide and you can work across. But I like to do the middle ones because I can direct them and create a sort of a template to widen out. Because I've in the past done it in such a way that I found myself in trouble pushing too far in one direction. So this way I can really focus on a center line, but I'm coming off the center line. So I'm holding the tape at the head, stretching to release the foot, or the beginning of the tail, I should say. And then I'm directing this paper. The paper is what you direct. Just basically, I'm not pushing into the tape, I'm just pushing down on the tape as it goes and feeding the paper out.
You want these tails to be like roughly the same size? Or does that?
Ideal, and you can tell if they're not quite, they should be, if you roll it out right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean between the two different tapes?
No,
Just individually?
like this, the width of each
Oh,
of these.
yeah, roughly.
Roughly.
I mean, that's my goal,
Yeah.
more or less.
Now, why did you do 4 instead of 3?
Because I'm showing you a basket weave which is usually associated with excessive effusion in the tissue. So the more fingers I have, the more collection I can have.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can, yeah. And if you're gonna be, ideally, I would have used
So
a
the
wider
broader,
tape.
the broader the area, the more tails you would have, the slimmer. So you wouldn't use 4 on the arm. You'd probably use more 3, like on my arm.
Yeah, I mean,
Small.
my, absolutely. So you're paying attention to your application. How much do I need? And so your utilization of that tape width, how you cut that tape. I like this thinner for, again, effusion. Effusion would be the swelling and pigmentation of capillary fragility or damage. If there's any pigmentation in the tissue, you clearly have had disruption of capillaries.
Would it be okay for an area that has a lot of broken capillaries?
Yeah, the broken cap, well, that's a good question. Let me contemplate that and try to understand the question as well. So are you referring to broken capillaries as a result of trauma?
Yeah.
Looks like you twisted
Yeah.
your ankle.
Okay, yeah. And the answer then would be yes. I'd use it, because I'd be doing lymphatic drainage as well. I want it, the quicker you can get that pigmentation out of there, the faster that tissue is going to heal, because it draws fluid to it. It's a solute. It's going to draw fluid to it. So I want to eliminate that from the area. And you could do that. The key to this is, now in lymphatic drainage, the therapists have learned to use a technique called rotary thumbs, which is a super light technique that you can use right over that tissue, because it just glides over the tissue. With the taping, you have to be super careful about the removal of it. So if I had an area of contusion where there's a lot of broken capillaries and I really want a lot of oil, wait days before I consider removing that. The tails tend to, obviously come loose sooner than usually a broader piece of tape.
So like I have a question. My oldest, she has twisted her ankle at least twice and had literally like the darkest black and blue just all up the side of her leg.
Uh-huh.
So and it literally just like right away. So you could tape it immediately after she injured, or would you?
You could
wait?
do this sort of basket weave tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, on something like
And
that,
if it was ankle, then I'd send it towards
This was
the
on the
back of the
outside.
calf.
Okay.
Okay.
but can
Because
you make these longer than these tails
yeah.
so that you reach from like the ankle up towards that area?
Well, here's the thing. It's not critical that you reach all the way to the area. You
Okay,
just need to be heading to the area.
okay,
Because what's going to happen, you're trying to get the interstitial fluid to be collected by the lymphatic channels. Once they're collected, they're going to take it.
okay.
So I'm looking for a non-involved area to get out of and then I'm gonna send that to the channels that are active, superior to that if we're dealing with an ankle, or just say proximal to that.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you would send it to the popliteal, cause she hers was
Well,
way on
actually,
the
I
outside of the
would.
leg.
I want to send it back this way because there are some minor watersheds in the posterior thigh that bring it around.
Oh, okay.
You know, because you bring that around to angle. That's why we did the double. You know, we did the W and the pump and push. You know, because we really need to really clear those channels because we're taking all this fluid and following it around. It comes up, but it's mostly coming behind, side, and up kind of thing. It doesn't come up over the top. Okay? I mean, there's channels that obviously come up over the top. We did the thing on the
Yeah.
If like the channel is blocked. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you talking.
Sorry.
I was in my head.
Hey. Hold that thought.
Yes.
No, I would put if I was gonna do cupping and this, I'd do the cupping, then this. Yeah. I wouldn't
The
try to
cupping might
cup
pull the
over the tape.
This is the last thing we do. I'm just asking if you can come, if you can.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because you are
can
pretty
combine
capillaries.
technique. You can, in fact, this is cupping is a wonderful lymphatic drainage technique. Dry brushing is a wonderful lymphatic drainage technique. And taping is that take-home thing. So you do all the stuff you do in your practice, and then you throw that tape on to help what you did in your practice continue.
So it's kind of like when your doctor gives you antibiotics to take it home, gives you the initial shot, and then gives you
Yeah.
antibiotics to take home.
Except I hate that analogy. But, not that, don't get me wrong, I mean,
So that's kind of like
if
the
I have an
antibiotic you take
infection,
home.
hit me up. But,
You know, like they give you the initial shot.
So I was wondering if the channel was blocked, besides the fact, would it just be swollen? If say you had that channel going towards the inguinal area and it was swelling and it would just stay swollen, or would there be other indications? Is that area sore, or like how would you know if like a channel was blocked?
Well, your first thing is the thing. If you had somehow a compromised lymphatic channel and or node, which would be many channels, then you would show peripheral edema.
Okay.
Okay, so and so what you learn to do is you're going to change the orientation of flow from the mother node into another quadrant. You'd still do the same work in the extremity because typically you're dealing with more of the areas relative to the mother nodes that we find these compromises to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You could conceivably have compromised channels in the periphery, but there's so much anastomoses of channels that generally the body reroutes. It's rare that you'll have, well, I've got a blocked channel and I get this problem. The body's going to go ahead and redirect it to
Okay.
more active channels.
Okay.
Yeah, the times we see issues are when we're dealing with primary channels that have, you know, it's usually lymph nodes. So the thing I wanted to show most was just this is how it looks, and that's how we get there. Could you be quicker? Probably. And do you need to be? Not really, unless you just have a whole bunch of people waiting on you. It's like, yeah, I just booked for an hour, and that was two.
So the problem is, can I have this right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then this on this side? So I've been doing, ever since I went to,